Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so we have completed chapter 1, right? So we are going to start with chapter 2. So how we saw at the end of the first chapter, Arjuna finally he gives up, in the sense he's not able to fight, and he's in fact he is shedding tears, right? Um, and finally he knows now he doesn't want to fight. And in the first chapter we saw that Arjuna kept giving reasons. He gave 4 reasons why he didn't want to fight. Compassion, because of compassion for all those who will get killed. And he also says, by winning the kingdom, how can we even enjoy? Because if our own kinsmen are also dying, then by killing our own kinsmen and our teachers and our well-wishers, we will get a lot of sinful reaction. And then by destroying so many families, there'll be the destruction of family tradition and the destruction of the dynasty. So all these reasons he has given so far in chapter 1. And after having spoken that way, he put his bow and arrows aside and sat down on the chariot. And then his mind is now overwhelmed with grief. Now, so Sanjaya, in the second chapter, he continues. So the second chapter is called as the contents of Gita summarized, or it's also known as the Sankhya Yoga, because we get in brief so many concepts we learn about Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, then Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga, and how transcendentalist, how does he behave, and all these things. So, because Arjuna gave all these reasons, now Krishna, in the second chapter, he will defeat Arjuna's arguments. They were seeming to be very good arguments, and it seemed like he was a very good, he was a very nice person, and he meant really well. But actually speaking, they were not correct, because everything he spoke on the level of the understanding that I'm this body. That itself is wrong. So now Sanjaya says, Tam tatha kripaya vishtam supurna kulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam vacha madhusudanaha. So on seeing Arjuna full of compassion, and his mind is so depressed and his eyes are full of tears, now Krishna will start speaking. So how, one may think the Lord is very kind, so he should be empathizing with Arjuna, and he must be consoling him and all that. But that is actually not real compassion, at least in this context. So Krishna is surely very kind, most kind, and he shows his real compassion by giving Arjuna the right knowledge. So he starts actually chastising Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, how is it that such contamination or impurities have come on you? And Anarya Drishtam Aswadhyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. You are speaking not like an Arya, Aryan civilization, which is based on Sanatana Dharma, Vedic Shastra, in that everybody is in a progressive path to achieve spiritual perfection. Uh, Even though they are doing their mundane duties very well, but still their ultimate goal of life is to attain Supreme Lord, go back to Vaikuntha. So therefore, they're all aware that there is um, there are the duties which are uh, related to the body and the mind, uh, and we also have our duties related to our soul. So therefore, uh, generally anything people from this Vedic culture, anything before doing anything, they will first think whether it will give me uh, Shreya. That means they were not really worried so much about the immediate results or the immediate benefits. So they were more worried about the long term benefits, because this life, how much can you change? You can't really change much because it's already done. The karma is already set. But what you can really change is next life by acting piously. So therefore, they would always see whether whatever I'm doing now, will it give me good results for next life. Therefore, that is how an Arya or a person who is following Vedic Dharma would think. Now, that's why Krishna is saying, but you are not talking like one who belongs to this Vedic civilization, because you're saying all this, but they will not lead, they will not help you to either go to Swarga, hmm, uh, or it will even, even here you will suffer by, becoming infamous. Because he was such a powerful Kshatriya. If he were to not fight and run away, everyone will ridicule him. So even that is not good, whether for this life or next life. And he's saying, why are you giving into this degrading impotence? You are such a brave warrior. Why are you talking like a coward? So this does not become you. It doesn't suit you. So give up all these petty weaknesses of heart, O Arjuna, and arise. And he's calling Tyaktutishta Parantapa. Parantapa means you are the chastiser of enemy. Why are you talking like this? So, in the calculation of modern man, this may not be very compassionate, but actually, uh, it is compassion in the highest mode. It's a compassion on the spiritual level. So, Krishna, first of all, when Arjuna, uh, you know, he's asking, now he will further realize, Arjuna, that okay, I have given all these reasons for not fighting, but am I sure? No, I'm not even sure. So he again continues a little bit of his argument. He's saying, Katham Bhishma Maham Sankhye Dronam Cha Madhusudana. So all these people are my gurus, they are worship worthy of my worship. How can I even think of killing them? Huh? Uh, so here also he's calling Krishna as Madhusudana. Every time he calls Krishna by specific names which have specific significance based on that context. So he's saying, you are Madhusudana, you are killer of Madhu, demon. He's your enemy. But why are you asking me to kill not demons, but these are all great souls, Drona, Bhishma, etc., who are worthy of my worship? So indirectly he's asking, see, is this fair? So then he's saying, Guru Nahatva hi mahanubhavan Preyo bhuktum bhaikshyamapi haloke. Better it will be for me to go begging. I can still live by begging rather than, kill all these great souls who are my teachers just for the sake of my survival and my roti kapda makan, how is it that I can do such great sin by killing my superiors? Hmm. Even at the end of the day, if we succeed in killing all of them, whatever we gain by that, right? Gain by this fight, everything will be tainted with blood of all these great souls. Then how can we enjoy that? So this is the typical calculation of a materialist, that Srila Prabhupada says, because uh, in a material perspective, everything we see uh, based on how I can enjoy. So here also Arjuna is saying it may seem like compassion, but first his main concern, okay, there is compassion. Then second main concern is enjoyment. I won't be able to enjoy by killing all these people. So all this again is because he's thinking, because I'm the body. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयमा यदिमानो जयेयुः. So he's saying, see, I don't know which will be better, whether being either conquering them or by being conquered by them. Let's say, even if I kill all these people, then even if we get such a big empire all for ourselves, then how can we even enjoy without our own people? So generally, when people gain something, or when they, let's say someone gets a promotion, or let's say someone gets a big prize or something, and they'll want to share it and they'll want to celebrate that with their family and friends. So let's say that's the argument of Arjuna. Okay, let's say we win this big kingdom. Then who will we celebrate with? Nobody will be there. Everyone will be dead and gone. So what's the use? So these are the people who we may want to win the kingdom for, because so we can enjoy with them, and they themselves are not there. What's the point? So after saying all this, he admits now, Arpanya doshopahata svabhavaha, because of my miserly weakness. So he's calling himself miserly because he understands that this everything he's saying is not in the long term. It's only for temporary consideration, on a bodily level. So one who is called as a Brahmana, he has a very broad-minded understanding of things, because he sees everything on a spiritual level. Ultimately, he wants to, that's why, benefit everyone. But one who is a miser or a kripana, he's very self-centered, because he only is interested in himself, because he's not aware that actually everyone is also part of the Supreme Lord's family. Nobody is separate from us. They're all living beings are all our own kinsmen. Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Yonishu Kamseya Murtaya Sambhavantiyaha Tasam Brahma Mahad Yone Aham Bija Pradapita. So he's actually saying, I am the seed-giving father. That means all the living entities are our brothers and sisters. They're all our siblings. So how can we say that one group of people, they are our enemies, another group is our friends? Everyone belongs to the same family, actually. So that's why a person who is selfish is called as Kripana or miserly. So Arjuna understands that. He's being very miserly here. He's not seeing the big picture, but still he's confused. So he's saying, Yathreyasyan bruhitam me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Now I'm not able to even make up my mind as to which is Shreya, which is really good for me and which is not. What should I do? In this condition, I surrender to you, Krishna. I'm your disciple. Now you instruct me. Anyway, Arjuna has been talking to Krishna all this while. He's been expressing his mind. And one may ask, where is the need for him to now explicitly say or surrender to him as a disciple? He's always a devotee. No, but the thing is, it is one thing to speak to someone on a friendly terms. But when we really need their guidance, then we should accept them as a guru. Even if it is it may be a friend or a peer, but if they are more knowledgeable and if we can repose our faith in them, uh, in, uh, in the spiritual knowledge, if they are on a higher platform, then we have to take shelter. Then we have to obey whatever they say. Then we cannot be on a friendly terms. Therefore, now he say, all right, now I'm your disciple. Now you say whatever you you have to. I will listen to you. No more argument going back and forth. Because he's saying, I find no other way means to dry away my grief, right? Because it's drying up my senses, and I'm not at all able to dispel this darkness. I don't know what is right, what is wrong. Therefore, uh, even if I were to win this whole kingdom, not just this earthly kingdom, even if I were to be able to uh, win the kingdom of heaven, still I won't be able to dispel this grief. I'm so happy. So now Krishna will start to address all his um, questions or the reasons he gave earlier. So now he has given the final reason. So earlier he had given 4 reasons in chapter 1. In chapter 5, he is just given another reason, which is indecision. Even because of his indecision, he is not able to decide what to do and what not to do. So for all these reasons, he says that I don't want to fight. So now Krishna, one by one, he starts to address all these. How now? First of all, he raised the issue of compassion, right? Um, because how can we kill all of them? We cannot kill. It's not correct. So he was, overwhelmed with compassion. Therefore, he didn't want to kill anyone. So now, finally, after having spoken all this, Arjuna will say, okay, oh Govinda, I'll not fight. And then he will remain silent. From then on, Krishna will take over. And now that he has already placed the Ratha in between both armies, so they could see clearly, they were all there to fight. So it says here, Tam uvacha Rishikeshaha prahasanniva bharata. So even though Arjuna was totally in grief, Krishna started to speak to Arjuna, but he was still smiling. He was smiling because one, as a friend, even though Arjuna was a friend, now he has become his disciple. And then he could see all this coming. So, because he has accepted him as a master, now how a spiritual master behaves. Now Krishna himself will show us. It's not like he will be talking to him on a friendly terms and joking. No, now comes the serious talk. So now Krishna starts speaking. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Shokyananna Shochastvam Prajnavadam Cha Bhashase Gatasum Nagatasum Cha Nani Sojanti Panditaha Panditaha. So he's already, as a spiritual master, first thing is he is chastising Arjuna. He's saying, you're speaking like a learned man. but you are mourning for something that is not even worthy of your grief. You, you're talking all these big things, and it seems like you're talking on high morality and all this. But I've got news for you. You are actually lamenting for something which wise men or panditas or scholars, they never lament about this body, whether when it is living or when it is dead. So, by saying this, he's attacking Arjuna's argument of compassion by giving him the knowledge of spirit soul. By giving him the spiritual knowledge, so he's saying, what is this compassion? The compassion that you're talking about is misplaced. So there is a well-known example that Srila Prabhupada often quotes. Let's say a man is drowning in a river. We have to go save him. If I go try to save his jacket that he's wearing rather than the man himself, how weird or absurd will it be? Which is more important? Is the man's jacket more important or the man himself? Obviously, the man himself. Similarly, which is more important, our body or the soul? Our body exists because of the soul. Therefore, this is soul that is more important, and therefore, Krishna will start to address on the platform of the soul. He's saying, why are you lamenting for this body? Anyway, whether it is dead or living, wise men don't lament. Therefore, now he starts giving knowledge of Atma, by which he defeats the argument of Arjuna's argument of compassion. Natvevaham jatunasam natvanmeni janadhipah nachaiva na bhavishyamah sarve vayam atah param. So he says, why do you have to lament? Why do you have to be compassionate about a body? Because none of us are anyway going to die. It's just the body that will die, but we are all eternal beings. Even if you kill these people, it's not that they are going to die. That's why he's saying, there was never a time when I did not exist, not you or any of these people. We were all present before. Now we are all present. Even in the future, we'll always will continue to exist. So just this one shloka, this has so much of deep meaning that many acharyas have commented on this. This means a lot, so many things, because as the impersonalists say, the Mayavadis, they say, after a soul is liberated, it will become one with the Supreme Lord. So there is no difference between the Lord and the soul. Everything is one. Everything will become one at the time of liberation. So only now we have separate identities. But when the soul gets liberated, he goes and he joins the Lord. But that is completely being refuted here by Lord Krishna. Because Krishna is saying, even in the future, it's like for always, even after liberation also. Why should we take it that it's only till liberation? It is for always. Even after liberation, we will all continue to be. That means we are all going to exist as individuals. It's not that the soul will become one with the Lord. So, in this way, there is no reason for Arjuna for you to lament. Nobody is going to die. Only their bodies will cease to exist. That's why, and then he starts explaining in detail the nature of the soul, what really soul is. Then he also tries to contrast the body, nature of the body with that of the soul. Then in the next shloka, this is a very famous shloka, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. Tatha dehantar prapti dhirastatra namukti. See, when the child is born and then it starts growing, the body is continuously changing. Will anyone lament? Will anyone feel sad that, oh, this child has become so big? No, they'll feel happy that, oh, the child is growing nicely. Similarly, from boyhood to youth, then from youth to old age, continuously the body is actually changing. And at the time of death, similarly, because that body is no more in good condition, the soul will take on another body. So why should a sober person be bewildered? So anyway, the body is going to change. That is the whole point. So actually, it is true. Even the scientists acknowledge that every minute, body is undergoing changes because the cells are continuously, even on a cellular level, we may not be able to understand that. It's not very, it may be imperceptible, but continuously it is changing. And at every certain intervals, regular intervals, the entire body would have actually changed because the cells are getting rejuvenated, old cells will be thrown away, flushed away, and the new cells are getting born and all this. So body is constantly changing. So therefore, one day it will fully deteriorate and the soul will get another body. So we have to understand that, we all know that, we are the same person. We have not changed. But we are witnessing since our childhood that the body we have, our body is undergoing change, but we are actually witnessing all that. Therefore, we are separate from the body. This we can understand. A sober person will not become bewildered. So, because he understands this is anyway going to happen. Matra sparshastu kante shitoshna sukha dukkada agamapayino nitya samstitichasva bharata. So all such changes, right, that will surely it will give us a lot of pain in this material world. Therefore, we have to learn to tolerate. Because whether it is happiness or distress, it comes and goes. Like summer and winter, it keeps changing. It's not permanent. It comes and goes. Because all this is coming from our sense perception. So it is all because of our body, our senses, and the mind. But we, the spirit souls, we are not really affected by it. So we have to understand that, Arjuna. Saying. So how can we deal with all this? So Krishna is saying, we can deal with all these changes, constant changes that's going on, by just learning to tolerate without being disturbed by them. And this is a very, very important lesson we have to understand. Because in the matter of discharge of our duties, we may come across so many challenges. But we should not be bewildered. We have to learn to tolerate it. No matter what the reason is or excuse, we should not give up on our duties. We should continue. So then we are benefiting. Just like, Srila Prabhupada gives an example how, according to our scriptures, one has to take bath early in the morning. Even during very cold winter season, it may be very, very cold. But if one doesn't follow scriptural rules and does not take bath just because he's feeling cold, then that's not good. So similarly, one has to take bath. Doesn't matter whether it is cold or not, early in the morning, and we have to tolerate. Similarly, uh, a housewife or a cook cannot give up cooking just because it's very, very hot in the summer season. Especially in the kitchen, it gets very hot. But still, one has to continue cooking by
Harish,
tolerating. Hare Krishna.
Harish, your voice is not echoing actually. I think some noise is coming from the back.
Background. No? Okay.
जी, background.
Now it's better. I think I kept it a little
जी,
farther.
अंकल जी.
Okay, I'll keep it closer. Hare Krishna. So similarly, he's telling Arjuna, you're also Kshatriya. Just because these circumstances which are not favorable to you has come up, don't deviate from your duty of Kshatriya, but you should continue to fight as a Kshatriya. So, one who is a Dhira, so now who is eligible for liberation? Not that person for whom everything is uh, all nice and he's cozy and happy in his home. Is he eligible for liberation? No. But that person who goes through, he may go through so many ups and downs of happiness, distress, or whatever situations. But one who chooses to remain steady always, he is certainly eligible for liberation. Why? Why is this theme actually continues actually? Many times Krishna keeps bringing up. He tells Arjuna to tolerate these dualities of life. Because in material life is full of dualities. Sometimes things may be good, sometimes things may be bad, sometimes they may be honored, sometimes they may be insulted. Yam hi na vyathayantyete purusham purusha rushabha sama dukha sukham dhiram somratatvaya kalpate. So a dhira is one who is sama, he is steady in both dukkha and sukha. That means, only when we actually realize all this sukha, dukkha, whatever happiness, distress, honor, dishonor, and so on, all this is actually related to our body. If someone scolds us or insults us, they're actually doing it for this, our bodily identity, not our spiritual, real identity. So, one who has really come to that understanding, he really doesn't care actually. So, that's why he's called a dhira. And he will certainly get liberated because he's striving for that spiritual perfection, and all these other material inconveniences, they don't matter to him. Such a person is certainly, that's why Krishna says again and again, such a person is eligible for liberation. And after all, those who are the seers or the gnanis, they have concluded that this material body is actually non-existent, in the sense that it is temporary. It is there today, tomorrow it won't be there. So there is no endurance of this material body. It's not a permanent thing. But the spirit soul is something which never changes. Therefore, why do you have to lament? So these are all different angles of spiritual knowledge that Krishna is giving Arjuna and trying to make him understand the nature of the soul. See, anyway, the soul, nothing is going to happen to it. It's not going to change. It's not going to die. But the body, anyway, it's going to die. Anyway, it is going to change in one way or the other. So why do you have to lament about the body? Avinashi tu tad vidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Nobody can destroy this imperishable soul. which pervades this entire body. So why do you worry about all of them? They're all eternal spiritual beings. So it's only their body will die. And what about the body? Body is anyway um, sure come to an end. It will surely come to an end. So don't worry about the body much. What we have to be really concerned about is the soul, because it is eternal. It is indestructible. Hmm? Anashino aprameyasya. You can, and it is immeasurable also. It is so tiny, the spirit soul, we can't even measure it. So then why do we have to worry? There's no point worrying. And another important point Sri Krishna is making in shloka 19, he says, Ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhavtau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. Well, he's saying, see, this Jivatma or the spirit soul, it is neither the slayer nor is it slain. That means this Atma, it neither kills anyone. How can the Atma kill? It is the body that is going to kill. You are saying you are going to kill. Well, you are not even this body. It is the body that is holding the bow and arrow, and it so through the body you may kill. So it is not even the soul that's actually doing it. Nor is the soul getting killed. So the people whom you think you're killing, you're not killing their soul. So you're only killing your body is killing their body. So the soul is neither getting killed, the soul can neither be killed, nor can the soul kill. So it's saying, um, neither he who thinks the soul is the killer, nor who thinks the soul is killed is in knowledge. Both of them. One who thinks the soul is getting killed, he also is ignorant. Another person who is thinking the soul got killed, is also ignorant. Because the soul is neither killed nor can be killed, nor will it kill. So all this is external things you're talking about. It's only related to the body, because the soul never born. Another fantastic revelation Krishna is making here. Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So he's saying the soul, it is neither born nor it dies at any time. And it has never come into being. Wow. Really, this is fantastic, because even as devotees or who have been studying Bhagavad Gita, who are trying to understand, sometimes we may think, because we have all come from the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So we have all come into being at one point, at some point. But Krishna says, no, that is also not correct. We always existed. There is no question of us, even on a spiritual level, ever coming to existence. The soul was always there. It was never born, and it is never going to die. So he is not killed even when the body is killed. Therefore, soul is sometimes called as Kutastha, because he never undergoes any change, like birth, death, and all the other six transformations. So generally, anything material, especially the body, it undergoes six transformations. One is its birth, then it grows, then it produces some byproducts, then it gradually starts deteriorating, and then finally it dies or vanishes and it's forgotten. But the spirit soul, never undergoes all this. So therefore, it is called as the unborn, and unchangeable. All right, I think I'll stop here for today. If there are any questions, please let me know.